And thank you everyone for joining us today. Like Scott mentioned, my name is Sumana Chintalapudi and I'm a field applications scientist with the QIAGEN Digital Insights team. And today we into some strategies around how to integrate multi-omics data to study gut health and related diseases using IPA. So hopefully this will be a good introduction on IPA's core functionalities. And those of you who are existing users of the software, hopefully you'll learn new features that you were perhaps not aware of. So with that, let's briefly review today's agenda. So the first topic we will cover today is looking at the core functionalities of IPA, where we will go over how to utilize IPA when you have some kind of omic data as a starting point. And we will see how to compare your multi-omic data sets like RNA-seq, proteomics, and metabolomics data to identify key biological pathways, get a full picture of regulatory network. And we'll also look at how to compare your data with public data. Next, we will look into the concept of investigating key targets and disease of interest. For this, if you don't have any omic data to begin with, you can still utilize IPA by using existing information that is coming from the literature and public data sets. So this will help us to understand how key targets might be associated with metabolic pathways of your interest. So as a IPA user, you can use different types of omic data, such as RNA-seq, proteomics, metabolomics, ChIP-seq, etc. And you can upload these data sets into IPA to identify key biological insights that underlie a disease condition or a biological phenotype. So looking at these heat maps, you can see how your data is associated with different pathways, molecular processes, as well as diseases and functions. Now, one of the unique things about IPA is that the database is not only comprehensive, but it also shows you directionality and causality. So let's say users like you have a set of genes or proteins that are upregulated or downregulated. Then what IPA will do is it's going to compare the directionality of your data with its knowledge base, and then it'll tell you if the pathway is activated or inhibited. So here we have a heat map with different types of omic data, so like RNA-seq, proteomics, and metabolomics, which is on the x-axis. And we have different canonical pathways on the y-axis, where the orange color in the heat map predicts activation and blue color predicts inhibition. So this key pathway, such as ferroptosis signaling, is not only activated at RNA level, but it is also activated at protein and metabolon level, which is shown in orange color. Therefore, ferroptosis signaling pathway is important for all the three types of omic data that we have, which you can then further investigate in the lab. Similarly, citrulline biosynthesis is enriched in all these different types of omic data sets. So let's say after looking at this heat map, you're interested in ferroptosis signaling, and you want to open and view the pathway in IPA. So here, whenever you click on one of the colored boxes within the heat maps, it'll open up and display the pathway itself. So within the pathway, you can see there is a lot of information and see how some of the genes are upstream, some of the genes are downstream, and the expression of the genes are also presented in the pathway diagram. Similarly, you can view any of these pathways from this heat map using IPA to identify novel biological mechanisms. Now that you know which pathways are important in your study, you can then determine if there are any key genes or proteins that can serve as regulators for other gene, protein, or metabolite targets. So if we look at this heat map, IPA identified NOS2 as a key regulator because it is not only activated at RNA level, it is also activated at protein and metabolite level, which is again shown in orange color. Similarly, TGF beta 1 is activated at in all of these three different types of omic data sets. So with this regulator information, you can then generate a network like this. So here in this example, we can see NOS2 is in the center, and it is targeting all these other genes that are impacting downstream functions such as migration of phagocytes, but also key metabolites like cholesterol, linoleic acid, and uric acid. So by constructing a network like this, user like you can not only generate a hypothesis, but can also design experiments in the lab. So therefore, using multi-omics data, we can identify key regulators and get a full picture of the biological phenotype. Now, with IPA, a lot of our users, they like to compare different experimental groups, such as different time points, different omic data sets, treatments, etc. So for that, IPA has a feature that generates these node charts that will display all the experimental groups in one single graph. So for example, here in this figure, we can see MMP9 is differentially expressed across different omic data sets. The expression is significantly up at protein level compared to gene level. And you can also see the level of metabolite, such as uric acid, within this network. So this is one example of how IPA truly combines multi-omics data. So these node charts can be generated for any network or pathway that you visualize in IPA. So today we are going to work with three types of omic data sets from these published studies where transcriptomics, proteomics, and metabolomics was performed using colon biopsies and serum samples from ulcerative colitis patients and control subjects. So in this scenario, we are interested in characterizing the metabolic changes that occur in ulcerative colitis. So this can provide important information to understand the pathogenesis of ulcerative colitis. And this information can then be used to generate therapies for patients with this disease or other gut-related diseases. So let's see how we can leverage IPA to analyze this multi-omics data. So I'm going to just jump into the software here. Now, since we have limited time today, I already ran the analysis for all the multi-omic data sets for RNA-seq, proteomics, and metabolomics. So to view the analysis, you can simply go to this project manager folder on the left-hand side. And you can simply, so I have my project under gut multi-omics, and we have our proteomics, transcriptomics, and metabolomics data stored here. Now to view and open any of these analysis, you can simply double click, and this will open up the expression analysis window for you. So if you have attended our IP introductory trainings that occur on a bi-weekly basis, you might know that this window will display different tabs from the code analysis, and this will provide different workflows to allow you to generate pathways, networks, identify key regulators, and so on. So you can use this information then to generate data for your research or simply generate a novel hypothesis that you can test in the lab. But our goal today is to analyze the multi-omics data together. So to integrate these multi-omic data sets in IPA, we can simply go to the Create New button, which is on top, and click on Comparison Analysis. Now, once we do this, we can select for our different types of omic data sets, which is on the left-hand side. So I'm selecting proteomics, metabolomics, and transcriptomics data for our ulcerative colitis data set and add them to compare. So once we do that, we can simply click on View Comparison. And once we do this, this is going to open this comparison analysis page for us.
QIAGEN.
Sample to insight.